Hello and welcome back to the Dennis Bloodnok Channel. Now, this latest video is a review of a recent BBC drama, A Very English Scandal. This drama is all about a particular scandal that engulfed the political career of this man.
London. Jeremy Thorpe may not be the next occupant of number 10, but you never know. The Liberals have chosen him to succeed Joe Grimmond as their party leader. Politics are quite unpredictable. Given only a slight swing to the Liberals, the next election might give them many more MPs than their present 12. Jeremy Thorpe may be the man to attract the voters. In the last election, it took 194,000 votes per Liberal MP against only 45,000 for a Conservative and 36,000 per Labour member. Jeremy Thorpe was swamped by congratulation telegrams. Good luck to him in his new job.
Our position is no different from what it was after the February election, that we think the job of a responsible opposition is to support anything that is relevant and in the national interest. And indeed, I offered both Mr. Heath and Mr. Wilson after the last election, when either or both could have become a minority government, one in fact did, that we were prepared to have talks to see if an agreed package could be reached. Now, in the present situation, I think obviously we want to see how they will tackle inflation. The social contract, I think, means as much or as little as you want. We want to see what's going to happen for liquidity in industry and what they'll do about prices. But so long as they govern in the national interest, we shall behave as a thoroughly responsible opposition.
Jeremy Thorpe was a Member of Parliament from 1959 to 1979, and from 1967 to 1976, the leader of the Liberal Party, the third party in British politics. As well as this, Jeremy Thorpe was a very well-connected man in terms of his position with regard to the media, politics, and every other area of British life, as Hugh Grant explains here.
What was so astonishing about it, I suppose, was that here was this man who was epitomised the establishment. Okay, he was a liberal rather than a conservative, but in every other way he was very establishment. He was an old Etonian. He'd Trinity College, Oxford. He was the most connected person in the history of sort of British politics. He adored parties and knowing all the movers and shakers and who was powerful, whether it be in politics, the civil service, the media, whatever.
The process of transforming Hugh Grant into Jeremy Thorpe was quite a painstaking activity, but the makeup artistry and hairstylist work is outstanding, as Hugh Grant himself now will explain.
So here I am now doing this interview in my Thorpe look. It's a work of genius by Daniel Phillips. I've got brown contact lenses, the very distinctive Jeremy Thorpe hair. They've given me a much more 5 o'clock shadow. He was very hirsute, sort of dark. He was gaunt, and then Daniel's brought out the hollow in the cheeks here. The equally brilliant Suzanne Cave did the costumes, and I've had these wonderful suits made in the style, a very distinctive Jeremy Thorpe style. He loved a double-breasted waistcoat. He had this ridiculous watch chain. There's a temptation to do an imitation, especially when you've got archive footage, as we have, of Jeremy Thorpe. And then you worry that if you do that, that might just be a bit two-dimensional, and that you kind of need to reinvent him in your own way. It's a bloody good character, fascinating character. A man of charm, wit, and political talent, but at the same time with a very dark side.
And there he was, repeatedly over a series of years, as we now know, urging his close friends to commit a murder.
There's only one thing we can do. Kill him.
No, if only we could.
No, I mean it.
Don't be ridiculous.
He will destroy me, and the party and my marriage. What if the next person he talks to is a journalist?
For God's sake, Jeremy, we're members of Parliament. We can't sit here and discuss murder.
And I really don't care. I don't care if we shoot him, or we strangle him, or we poison him, or we bludgeon him, or we tie him up in a sack and drop him in the Thames. There is only one way for us to survive. Norman Scott has got to die, so how?
And trying to get the money together in a very amateurish, old Etonian liberal way, you know. I mean, that's part of the joy of it. It's not like the mafia ordering a hit. This is this is someone who likes Shostakovich, you know.
I mean, acquitted there is quite an important term in this, isn't it? In the piece, because he was acquitted, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in the end tried in 1979, and after two very controversial moves, he was acquitted. Well, first of all, he decided not to take the stand and defend himself, or rather his very brilliant QC, George Carman, decided he couldn't take the stand because if he did, probably he would be exposed as a liar. And then the judge made a now notoriously lopsided summing up, which really told the jury to find him innocent. But it was, in a sense, a Pyrrhic victory because he got off, but not many people thought he was innocent.
Whilst not so much mentioned in the piece, one particular political issue of the time was that Jeremy Thorpe opposed apartheid in South Africa. During apartheid South Africa, the largest foreign investor into South Africa was the UK. Political forces within South Africa and within the UK were all for the lifting of sanctions and for the promotion of South Africa. Jeremy Thorpe stood against this, and this put him up against a number of rather sinister political forces in both the UK and South Africa. Well, there we have it. A very English scandal. In my estimation, a quite brilliant piece of television. The part of Jeremy Thorpe, brilliantly played by Hugh Grant and supported by Alex Jennings as Peter Bissell, and quite brilliantly Ben Whishaw as Norman Scott. Overall, the drama, A Very English Scandal, is, as I say, a very brilliant piece of drama, but with some tragic comedy in there as well. Jeremy Thorpe as an individual was someone who tried to do good in the world, in that he supported the anti-apartheid movement and promoted a number of liberal causes. But tragically, he had a very dark side, and this resulted in the attempted murder of Norman Scott. The issue of homosexuality being illegal in the UK up until 1967, and then probably until the 1990s or even into the 2000s, being a situation where it was just not a very good idea to admit being gay, certainly affected Jeremy Thorpe's life and his political career and his political decisions. Luckily, today in 2019, gay people are treated with more equality and more human consideration. But, having said all of this, A Very English Scandal is a brilliant piece of television that I would award a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. A Very English Scandal is currently available on iTunes or on Amazon Prime, and I would recommend you to watch it. Many thanks for watching, and Dennis Bloodnok will return in the next video. Thank you.